time, it's 7:40.
I don't want to disrupt the flow or anything, but I'm not sure if that question was pertaining to what I wanted to address, but it wasn't pertaining to children bullies, it was pertaining to the staff. How do you deal with staff and bullies and making sure your child has a respectful education?
That's right, I agree with you, and it's all treated actually the same way. It's at the school level, and if that's exactly what's happening, it still needs to be addressed at the school level to the principal, and then an investigation will be done by the person who is located at the administrative level to go in and look at that. We do get the reports, whether they are children against children, or teachers against children, or teachers against teachers. Believe it or not, it happens. So it's all considered and looked at. So yes, it's the same situation that law was made for all levels, not just the children level. Okay?
I appreciate you clarifying your question, but for the sake of time and for the sake of order, in case anything wasn't answered to your taste, all of us were here afterwards. Just pull us aside, we can redefine it. And just to move on, and we only have about 18 minutes left officially, so what we're going to do, we're not going to take any more official questions. I just want to go through the little pile I have left. If anyone has any other questions, we're going to stay here afterwards. You can just pull us to the side, okay? This question is, what evaluation process is being used to assess the supervisors, principals in their positions?
Okay, I could answer that question. Teachers, there is a new process for evaluating teachers. I just had a little note from the New Jersey State Board Association that principals, they are in the works of developing a different type of evaluation, but everybody gets evaluated. There is a whole process from the non-certified people, teachers' aides, CDAs, we have the security guards, we have custodians. Everybody gets evaluated because we need to know how we are performing. And I include myself because I also get evaluated every year. So everybody, child study team, psychologists, everybody in the system. It's like in your job, they evaluate your performance. That's what they have to do here to maintain the level of services and see if anyone is in need of having to go to a different type of training or a specific things, to better themselves. Because we also have a performance improvement plan that if we're not doing something the way we're supposed to, we also have to give the people the benefit of improving themselves. So definitely there is for everybody.
Moving on to the next question. This is a two-part question. The first one talks about tutoring for kids, what's available in the school, what's in place for that. And if actually this question was written in Spanish, so if someone could address it in Spanish and English, just in case the person for them to make sure they can understand.
Okay, definitely there is after-school programs. Teachers do have sometimes they do stay after school, they tutor the children. There is a service, it's called, I believe, the tutoring program, that they also tutor our children. And if you are, every building, every principal in the building, where they will have the different programs, and children, could be serviced by the staff. But you have to ask, there are different programs. And we approve many programs, and after-school programs, even before school. Some teachers ask students to come like a few minutes before, or a little bit of after lunchtime, or any free time. They're always available for them. Para aquellos que no entienden, si hay servicio de tutoría, hay programas después de escuela, también hablando con el principal del edificio o con la misma maestra, ella le puede ayudar al niño si tiene algún problema específicamente, pero hay que comunicarse para poder obtener los resultados.
Thank you. And the second question, this parent says that a lot of the pretty much new schools that are open, children need to have a certain grade level to be able to get into them. So they're under the impression that all the schools, I guess, that open that are new, you have to have a certain grade level. So if someone could address it. This was also part of the person that wrote it in Spanish, or it could be done in English and in Spanish.
Out of the new schools that have been opened, the fairest way that we were able to make sure, since we weren't able to choose what locations the schools were going to be built, specifically 29, 30, 27 is neighborhood 28. The new schools are lottery schools. So you have to submit your name. They're selected out of a lottery. It has nothing to do with your grade point average. But that was the fairest way to get all the kids in the city to have access to the newest buildings. There are schools that have been built. School 31, which houses the Gifted and Talented program, which is you have to have a certain grade point average. But the newer schools, it's strictly lottery. So you want to help me out with that in Spanish?
Sí, muchas veces los padres se confunden en las academias como la 29, la 30, la 26 es por un sistema de lotería. Para los programas de niños con talento, si hay que mantener cierto puntaje porque los niños tienen que, a ellos se les exige un poco más, es más riguroso el programa para ellos. Por eso es que se les llama niños con talento, pero también son elegidos de diferentes partes de la ciudad, no solamente de un área específicamente, pero incluso en la high school también, para entrar a Hamilton tienen que tener un cierto nivel, un puntaje 2.0, o para entrar a Elizabeth High School tienen que mantener 3.0 porque es más exigente. Recuerden que hay que tomar cursos universitarios o cursos que son más académicamente más avanzados. O sea que es un poquito, la exigencia es un poquito más, pero si no demandamos de nuestros niños, pero nosotros hacemos la habilidad de nuestros estudiantes. Y muchas veces ellos no tienen la habilidad que nosotros queremos que ellos tengan. Tenemos que tener esto en consideración. Son niños y ellos son los que se sientan en la clase.
Carlos, if I may, just clear point. The magnet schools were lotteries. Those were by application. There was a lottery made, and we provide transportation to children from all over the city to be able to go to some of these schools. There are neighborhood schools. My child goes to School 28, which is a beautiful building. If you've never seen School 28, it's on Front Street between Marshall and Fulton. It's the old Bethlehem Steel. It is by far, I'm sorry, I'm partial, the nicest school we built. I mean, that's my opinion. It's beautiful. If you haven't seen it, please visit it. It's a beautiful school. That's a neighborhood school, K-8. Any child within the boundaries of that school can attend that school. Okay, so there are kids down in the Elizabeth Port section who have a great school. Now, that doesn't mean we don't want them all to have a great school, because School 1 is overcrowded. School 13 is an old building, is very small. You know, we're aware of these things. School 20, okay? These are challenges. But we were able to build one great school and facilitate some children. Our goal is to facilitate all children. Okay, that doesn't happen overnight, unfortunately. So if your child is not in a school you desire for them to go to, I understand. We understand. Unfortunately, when we went to the K-8 model neighborhood school to build that sense of community within those school communities, some people were placed in schools they may have not been able to be in a new school. That is unfortunate. Okay, but the good thing was that did free up building spaces in other areas and allowed us to build things like Hamilton Preparatory Academy, which has been an incredible success at the high school level. Okay, if you've been in this city long enough, you remember what Cleveland used to be. Cleveland was this dysfunctional 6th, 7th, and 8th grade school that people were terrified to have to send their children to, and you go there now it houses the Blue Ribbon School. Okay, Hamilton was one of those schools, right? 6th, 7th, and 8th, and people said, "Wow, I got to send my kid to 6th, 7th, and 8th in Hamilton," and they were afraid. And now it's this vibrant school. Do we have all the answers? We have a lot of work to do. We know that, and we're hoping that you provide us with some of these challenges, and hopefully collectively we can have a new school for all children.
Definitely. Will there be athletic programs during the summer?
We usually have them. It depends on funding. It has to do a lot with the funding, but we've been having it for the past few years, and we hope to continue that.
How many students will take the New Jersey ACT test?
Everybody. It's not a choice. it's a state requirement. It starts with the 3rd grade, and for the past weeks and coming weeks, yeah, all the children want to take. Then they take district assessments that is from even pre-K takes some assessments to the 2nd grade. 3rd grade out, they do take the New Jersey Ask, or they also take the HESPA and on. Yeah, but they do take it. Except for special needs students, they do take the test. Some of them take them with accommodations and modifications within their individualized educational plan. But also they have the APA, which is the alternate placement assessment, which is done mostly by the teachers, and then they have to develop a binder and send it to the states. But every child, it's called accountability, and that's the way to show the state the progress that our children are making.
Thank you very much. This question, and it's also, I guess, a comment, is someone that's interested to have a future discussion on plans to address the inadequacies in some of the older schools. Is that something that you think could be done in the near future, probably just to address some of the older schools, some inadequacies?
Our hope through this forum is to have other board members obviously participate, but I don't think there's been any discussion to just have a forum on one specific topic, because we made nearly 80,000 phone calls, okay, and this is what showed up. I mean, we should have a room full of people, in all reality, right? We always say we have to be part of education, we want you here, and we're glad you're all here, but this room here opens up, and we're going to fill this all the way up, and that's what we felt we should have. Unfortunately, that's not going to be the case for many reasons. But to have one forum on one specific topic, we'd probably be better off just having a small meeting, you and I, because that's probably what it's going to be, right? One person's going to have one thing that's really important to them, and then another person's going to have one thing. And this way, we could put it together. Have one.
Board, I'm sorry. Thank you. Definitely, if you could approach us afterwards. We do have another question as well, and I left this one for last just because I felt as though it's something that, we mentioned it takes a village to raise a child. This one says, what is the district's plan to get the parents involved, let's say the next year, and in what way do you feel as though the parents could work together with the Board of Education?
I think these forums are an avenue for everyone to reach out to us as a board. We are very accessible, and we make ourselves as accessible as possible. I encourage all parents to join their local PTAs. I mean, that's an organization right in the school that advocates for the children right in the district, right in their building. The PTAs, we meet with them regularly. We're invited to many, many different PTA functions, and that's the best way to start a grassroots organization right within the school. There's going to be additional forums coming up this year, and it's something that we're looking to do to make sure that we are accessible to the community. Also, our board meetings aren't very well attended, I'll be honest with you. There's a public portion where the public can speak, and we invite you and encourage you all to come down to make sure that your concerns are heard. But as far as situations like this, or forums like this, we'll be having more in the future.
And just to add to that, because I know some of the other issues were the board meetings are, not geared towards the public speaking, and you're right, they're not, because it's for the children. It's not to really, publicly start a forum. We do the forum so we can actually do that, to actually talk to them. But we are there and available to speak to anyone that is willing to come up to the board meetings and speak, because there is a public portion. However, we have students that come out that we have an agenda we have to follow, and the students actually, they have to get out first because they're young, they need to go home, and they definitely need to be out of the building while we continue to conduct our board business. So I know that was always an issue, and we are held accountable to at least make sure that we have and speak to achievement in the district. And the board meetings are available for people to come and speak at the board meetings as well, and they are not attended. And people just do not come out to actually come to the board meetings to be heard. And even if that's not the case, there is again the constituent service, and you can always send something to the Board of Education, whether it be via writing or message. You can call and leave it for one of the board members. We do get any correspondence that you actually send out to the district. They do communicate that with us. However, you know, we would like to see more of the parents at the board meetings, and we would like to see more of the parents and anyone in the community come out to discuss those things. I think one of the other things, and I'm not going to be too long with this, was I understand that people were saying that city council meetings were geared towards the public portion of public speaking, and I said, well, that's true, because they are there to serve the community. And that is true. That's what they do. They give the public portion there first. We are here to serve the community, but our children, we have to get them out of the facility building first, because they come out and they perform, and we can have them late, you know, hanging out in the building too late. They have to go home. They have to go to school the next day. So we try to make sure that we get the process going, and then we can conduct our business as well. But feel free, you still can come out to any of the meetings that we have.
And I just want to add in a final thing. For order for our children to succeed, parental involvement is very important. They can't do it without you. We cannot do it without you either. And that's the key here, parents. It's good to have the parents involved in everything. Ask questions, go to the school. Why my child is doing this, is not doing that. Everybody, all of us are very accessible. And if you have any questions, please, we want to stay afterwards, and we'll be more than happy to try to answer your questions.
Well, the children come and perform because it's part of our core beliefs and our vision for the district that we have to celebrate our children. Okay, and we can't forget that. It's important for them to be there that night. And that night we're there to do board business. It's not every day you get all the board members. That's the day. Now, should we have a big show where all the people, can come in and kids can perform a big show? Sure, we can do that. We just had a great parade. So, and that celebrated our successes. And we celebrated our children. They had a great time. Can we go doing that forward? We can do that? Yes, we probably can. It's an opportunity also to us recognize the staff and their great achievements. This is not done without good people who work in the district. It just doesn't happen, and it's important to recognize them as well. There's a public speaking portion, although it may not be this way. Quite frankly, I've been there nights where no one showed up to do the sign up. And if you don't believe me, you can open the records and you'll see that the sign-in sheet, that's why we keep it, is empty. In fact, someone at the last meeting provided us with a list, a petition of people who were so concerned with this, who said that if we didn't move it, the people that were up for re-election would be at peril if we didn't do this. And quite frankly, I see very little of them here today. And we made 80,000 phone calls. So, we can't have it both ways. You can't say you want access and then not show up. You have access. And there's access for each and every one of them, your way. Whether it be through your schools or through constituent services. You can write us a letter, we'll get it. You need us to call you? Leave a message, we'll call you. So there is access. Okay? Don't leave here thinking, for any reason, that anyone here does not want to work for you. On the contrary. We want to listen to your concerns, and we want to help facilitate your needs. Allow us to do it before you criticize us for not doing it. Because if you haven't called one of us, or you haven't reached out to us, you haven't given us the opportunity to help you. And we want to help you. So please consider that. If you're not finding that we're accessible, try reaching out to us, and you'll find that we are very accessible and eager to be part of your child's education.
Lastly, Mr. Cedeno, I just want to thank the superintendent and his staff, Mr. Gonzalez, for helping us put this forum together. It took a lot of work. I just want to thank you for that. I want to thank everyone for coming. And, hopefully the next one of these, we're in the midst of planning it, so we'll be letting you all know when it will be. Hopefully it can be better attended, and hopefully we can have some better answers for some of your questions, or more in-depth answers if that's what you need. So thanks. I just want to give Mr. Cedeno a round of applause. Thank you very much.
I just want to take a moment real quick to thank all of you for coming out here tonight. We know it's a Wednesday night, and we know it was 2 hours long, but we hope some of your questions were answered. We really appreciate your time. We know you have busy schedules. We, of course, thank all the board members, and I want to acknowledge the board president, Marie Munn, and the vice president, Fernando Nasco. I forgot to mention their title before. And just want to let you know, as a councilman, it's an honor for me to be here. Because something that really hurts my heart personally is when politics gets in the way of what's best for our community. The moment politics gets in the way, no one wins. I don't care what side or what person you support, no one wins when politics gets in the way. And I really believe that we can respectfully come to the table, both sides, and anyone that knows me from working in City Hall, I'm very respectful. Every position that's there since the very beginning, just because to me, my priority is the community. And if we're able to work together, put politics to the side, our children win, our families win, our schools win, our churches win, our businesses win, we all win, and we can move forward. In parting words, I just want to give the opportunity for Pablo Munoz to say a final goodbye if you want to, or... I'm sorry. Final career.
Well, thank you, Mr. Stewart, the board members. Thank you all for coming out tonight. The board really wants to engage the community and put themselves out there. So next time they have this, ask your friends to come. They want to answer your questions and clear up any misconceptions, or even take, give them a nice pat on the back if you feel they're doing a good job. And I think they have led this district. There were some questions tonight around what the board does about this or that and the other thing. And what they do is a few major things. They govern by policy. So they've established some really national leading policies, whether it's graduation requirements or promotion retention or management oversight, or a lot of the policies that they have built over the last 5 to 6 years, actually 7 years now, has been by the board coming together, learning together, and saying, if we want to be New Jersey's best, and if we want to be America's best, we have to set the standards at this height. And that's how they lead. And then those policies get translated by the administration through budgets and programs and staffing. So that's the distinction between the board and the management and the teachers. They set policy and then we implement it. That's how it flows. So I thank you very much. I thank you very much for coming out to support the public schools.